You know what sucks? The way Microsoft names their devices and software. Even though it's been over a decade since the system released and I don't even play on Xbox, I still think the Xbox One is one of the dumbest names for a piece of tech of all time. It even gives the Wii U a run for its money. When the Xbox One first launched in 2013, there was all sorts of confusion relating to the actual first Xbox, which was released in 2001. I remember there was a prank video uploaded years ago about somebody gifting their friend an Xbox One, but it was actually the original Xbox. If you really think about it, it's technically the first Xbox after all. Why didn't they call the Xbox One the Xbox 720? Seems like the only sensible thing to do. Eventually that naming convention would run into the same issue that Atari consoles had where the numbering started to get ridiculous, so they started naming their consoles after cats for some reason. Calling the Xbox Series X the Xbox 1080 may have caused some confusion with people thinking it only supports up to 1080p picture quality. Apparently, the reason why Microsoft decided to name the console the Xbox One is because they wanted the system to be more than just a gaming console. They wanted it to be an all-in-one entertainment center not just for gaming, but also for streaming, watching TV, playing movies, chatting, and browsing the web. I guess the Xbox All-in-One doesn't have the same ring to it as just the Xbox One. It was quite controversial for the time, and the executives in charge of Microsoft made an act of poor judgment that would snowball effect into the Xbox's downfall, and they threw the game. No pun intended. Which led to Sony winning over the 8th generation. I don't know a single person who owns an Xbox Series X or S. Hell, I know more people who've owned a PS Vita of all things. I believe that the decision to market the Xbox One as an entertainment center was quite redundant, especially since Windows Media Center was already a friggin' thing for Windows XP, Vista, and 7, and it was phased out by the time Windows 8 came out unless you installed it directly from a sketchy, third-party source. The feature was also available for the Xbox 360 until it was discontinued in 2016, so why didn't they just integrate it into the Xbox One instead of marketing the console as a glorified cable box? Microsoft continued to repeat this mistake. If the Xbox One name wasn't stupid enough, think again. They decided to name their next generation console the Xbox Series X, which sounds very similar to the Xbox One X, a revised and upgraded Pro model of the Xbox One with better performance which was released in 2017. People mistook the already existing Xbox One X for the new system. Who would have thought of that one? Why didn't they just call it something completely detached and unique from previous generations, like, I don't know, Xbox Prime? I don't even want to imagine how stupid the name of their 10th generation console will be. What's it gonna be? The Xbox Series Q? Xbox Aquamarine? Xbox brought to you by Windows 12? Actually, they should have gone with naming the Xbox consoles after cool sounding colors and minerals like they originally planned. They really should have stuck with the code name Xbox Scarlet for the Series X. It sounds much cooler rather than pretending to be cool. I know it's pedantic, but something that irks me to this day is the fact that Microsoft decided to skip Windows 9 and instead went straight to Windows 10. It was rumored at one point that it was intended to be the final version of Windows that would be consistently updated and improved instead of having a brand new edition come out every 5 or so years. That's until they changed their mind in 2021 and came out with Windows 11. If you wondered why Windows 9 was skipped in the first place, it was because certain software would think the system was actually running Windows 95 or 98 due to outdated legacy code, and therefore it would not work. Using the same logic, wouldn't Windows 10 or 11 be erroneously identified as Windows 1.0 or 3.11? Or they could have just internally named the OS Windows 09 to differentiate it from Windows 95 and 98 well enough. It may have been a marketing ploy to skip ahead to the 10 milestone faster instead of having Windows 9 be a filler version. Apple skipped iPhone 9 for this very reason, meanwhile Samsung came out with the Galaxy 9, which ended up being one of their best phones. Why can't Microsoft name their systems normally like Sony and Nintendo? Especially Sony. They have a straightforward and practical way of naming consoles, as they are simply numbered in chronological order, and not to mention Nintendo consoles usually have a different name each time. If you really think about it, Xbox is basically just a more locked down, stripped down, and restrictive version of Windows. And that is why Microsoft product names suck.